Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fresh episode of IRS Highlights, where me and Bharti take you through the journey of 11 IRS episodes that we have done with 11 amazing speakers. Hi, Bharti, welcome.
Hi Sagar, how are you? And welcome everybody. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are joining this LinkedIn Live. We both are super excited because today is the IRS highlights, and of course, we're going to share what this is all about. Yes, Sagar.
So, IRS started with a thought, it started with an idea to give back to the community. Now, as professional speakers, what do you give back to the community? What better way to give them back as a gift to learn from speakers who have been there, who have done there, and who are legend themselves? And that is where we started thinking and coined the term IRS. Initially started with a joke that it's more of a Indian revenue system or something to do with money, and then we thought, why not club it with the book that we all love, which is the Referable Speaker, and name it as Insights from the Referable Speaker.
So the whole focus of the event IRS, the ideation and understanding of how we should do it, the whole focus was about marketing, especially in the professional speaking industry, because unlike other traditional businesses where sales and marketing they drive the revenue and there's a direct proportional to that. Any activities you do in marketing and sales, you can see the results. Unlike those traditional businesses, when you look at professional speaking, there's a very different approach towards the business. And the more important part, or I would say the element in different approaches, is long term relationships, the referability, the connections that we build, the relations that we build over these years, and that takes time. And of course, a lot of efforts goes in that. So that is what made both of us very curious to understand that how all this happens, and we want to bring those speakers here who are already there, referable in the market, in the world, and they are doing fantastic in professional speaking. And that is where the event, or I would say the initiative IRS, uh, grew, and we started with this whole series. Started in the first event, the curtain raiser event. We started in December. It is a Vadodara chapter initiative, a newly born, and now it's a 1 year old chapter, a newly born chapter then of PSAI, Professional Speakers Association of India. And that is how we started. And from January, we began with the speakers and lined up all the guest speakers that we wanted to bring into this event. Yes, I will.
Absolutely. So we have few people have joined in. So I would love you to type in from where are you joining in, and are you a PSAI member or you're joining in as on LinkedIn directly without even being a member or being aware. You're a part of network either me and Bharti have. So we would love to know where are you joining us from and what brings you here to this event. While you guys share that, I would love to say hello, Six Pack Sai and Super Suresh. You bring in a lot of energy, and Sai, you bring in a lot of humor. Thank you for joining us. And we still have a few more people that I can see online. I can see six people right now online. I'm sure more to go. However, I have a question for you, Bharti. What made you select the speakers, and what was the thought process behind selecting the speakers? Because I'm sure we both have done a lot of work in selecting that, but I would love to know it from you. What were the thought processes that you had while you were selecting and trying to bring a speaker on board?
Uh, this is a very cumbersome task that we both had, to bring in the best of the best to PSAI community, and help all the members, help us to grow, and to also help us understand how the referability works, how the networking and connection building, the relationship building happens. So the first and foremost thing what I started doing is looking at the hygiene factors in the business, which is, do they have a website? Do they have a showroom? Do they have the system in place where, if, say, for example, I enter their system, which is, say, even on LinkedIn, if I'm approaching them, or I'm looking at their post, is it happening on a regular basis? Do they have a newsletter? Are these value added uh, elements which are the part of their business, and how, as a prospect, for example, if I'm a prospect, how am I moving in their system, in their business ecosystem? So that was one very major factor that we looked at. Second was, what is the visibility factor, what is the credibilities that they have, unlike the certifications, but more in terms of how strong their system is in terms of marketing. Do they connect with people? Do they connect with their with is it only like a database collection kind of a system, or do they really connect whomsoever they are building the relationship with? So these are few things that were the major uh, draws that where we started looking at the criteria. Also, apart from this, more important was, are they into the business of professional speaking? The more focus was into the speaking world, where they are known as a paid speakers. They have a certain price point when they are called for some events, or even they're called in the organizations, or they are more known as coaches or trainers or consultants. So where the where is the major element that lies in their business? That were the major criteria that we looked at. Yes.
Awesome. Brilliant. Now we know that it took a lot of effort to pick up, choose, select those speakers. That was done by us very easily because choosing speakers was something we did very easily. The tough part was getting them to agree to come on IRS. Because as we know, if the speakers are referable, which means their calendars are booked, they are having back to back events, they are having their calendars full. Finding a slot, coordinating with them, and agreeing to bring them on PSAI and then on IRS was definitely a tough task. So, kudos to you, Bharti, for running behind the show and doing a lot of hard work as a part of a team and bringing such amazing speakers. I mean, I remember we dreamt that in IRS 1, we will have Andrew, who is also the author of the book, The Referable Speaker. And in that moment, none of us knew, or even in our remote dreams, were connected to Andrew by any chance. And we made it happen. So, absolutely kudos to the thing that happened. And, it's worth celebrating. And just to share with everyone that for IRS2, we are looking at some amazing, amazing big names. The names that we only hear either on very big stages or maybe just on YouTube videos or even just in the books. We're not going to reveal the names, but yes, we will reach out to each one of you in case if you have a connect, we would love to have them on stage. While Bharti spoke about that, speakers definitely took a lot of energy from us, but they gave us a lot of insights. So it was absolutely worth investing the time. Most important was pairing the right speaker with the right host. Because if you don't pair the speakers with the right host, things don't get valued. People will not be able to connect better, and the chemistry will definitely be lost. So, Bharti, why don't you throw some light on how did we pair speakers and the hosts?
Absolutely. And I must say that, Sagar, you have beautifully captured some of the challenges, but you're very humble in sharing this. It has been a task to bring these guest speakers, and every month searching for the right speaker that has all these criteria in place, and then checking with them. We had our set of rejections. We had our set of last minute. It's like we are already booked. So we started our work of selecting and approaching the speakers 6 months, 7 months before. and we didn't get the date even then. So it was quite a task for both of us, and we would scratch our head and we'd say, okay, now what shall we do? So that is one journey we went through, both of us. Of course, Andrew Davis was one star in our we want this speaker, we want this guest uh, in IRS because, of course, that's the inspiration we have drew from him. That was the motivation factor for both of us. Uh, but I want to highlight one part: the whole experience of uh, right from approaching the speakers, bringing them here, coordinating with them during the entire IRS event, and even post that the whole experience was such a beautiful experience that we both have learned a lot from that experience, that how much it is important for a speaker to build that kind of system. So when we started approaching, we both realized that every speaker has a very different energy, different momentum uh, when they bring into the event. So it was important for us to look at the chemistry on screen, where the host is bringing the best out of the speaker, because IRS is not an interview. It is not a very structured, a very standard uh, type of an event where the speaker comes and talks, gives a speech or gives a talk. So IRIS has a very different standpoint, and to abide by that kind of a structure that we had created, we were looking at good host. So for Rajesh Shetty, we had Kiruba Shankar. Beautiful pairing they both had, like the chemistry, the fun part, the uh, the camaraderie that we could see it on the screen was absolutely amazing, because Kiruba comes with a very calm, composed kind of a energy, whereas Rajesh Shetty absolutely matches that energy and goes along with the flow as the questions were asked. Similarly, with Praveen Shekhar, we had our Srijata Bhatnagar. Both were completely energetic, power packed, and they were bubbling on the screen, and we loved that energy. We were captivated by their energy so much. So there were a lot of thought process when went behind curating each and every IRS event for the community. Yes, Sagar.
Absolutely. So we can definitely add to that list and keep thanking Sheetal, Srijata, Kavina, and Bharti yourself, because you also took the lead as hosting multiple events. So congratulations. And while we are on this, why not take an opportunity to wish Srijata a very, very happy birthday, because we're celebrating her birthday as well. So here is to Srijata. Srijata, wishing you a very happy birthday. And we definitely, miss you in India. And we also would love to have more sessions with you in the next season. Coming to that, let's talk about the highlights. Let's now bring some amazing highlights for which people have joined in. People would love to know what are the highlights of each and every speaker. Over to you, Bharti.
Absolutely. And the reason why we wanted the highlights is because, one, we had a very clear understanding of IRS, that we want it to be live for our members so that they can absolutely submerge themselves into the learning part. That's why all the IRS events, they were absolutely live. We did not share the recording, and we thought that why not recap all the 11 episodes and bring in the highlights for all the members, and of course people who are watching this live, who are aspiring professional speakers or who are entering into this arena of speaking. It will be fantastic for for all of you. So we had our first guest, Shelley Rose, and I would love Sagar to share the highlights, that what she brought as a first guest speaker, what she brought to the IRS event, and how we kick-started this amazing journey with our PSI community. Yes, Sagar.
Absolutely. So, what we have done beautifully is we have actually taken the top three highlights from each speaker and also mapped it with our competencies For people who are a member of PSAI or any other associations, we don't need to tell you what those competencies are. But if you are not a speaker and you have joined or you're listening the show from whichever part of the world, these competencies are basically 8 competencies that are required to become a professional speaker. So the first speaker that we had was on 9th January, Shelley Rose, a beautiful, beautiful person with a golden heart. She opened up insights to her business, to her, her mechanism, her systems, and even her approach and mindset. Now that was very powerful because she's also trained NLP practitioner, or if I'm right, maybe a grandmaster in NLP. She's a legend there. And what she talked about, the 3 main points was use the right language because unconscious triggers influence motivation. We as speakers go at different countries, different cultures, different people. And if we don't speak the right language, unconsciously, we can trigger negative or positive impacts. So choose your words rightly. Second, she talked about how to customize the content using local and regional references to connect better with the people. And third, she added how you can actually master repo building, trust, and credibility for higher impact. Because if the event organizers cannot have a good repo with you, cannot trust you, and cannot establish your credibility online, you're not a referable speaker. And these are the competencies that are mapped with it. Going to number 2, over to you, Bharti.
Amazing. This is really amazing. And, flashing back the memories of the event from Chalet Rose, there were a lot of learnings that we had, but yes, the best one that we selected. The second speaker that graced our IRS event, she's Brenda Benz. We started the kickstarted a February month with her, and what she spoke about majorly was referability starts before, during, and after the talk. And this was not something that she shared just because she came into the IRS. She made us experience what it is when you approach her as a speaker and when you bring her in the event. Now, of course, at PSAI, because she's a member of APSS, Singapore Association as well, all the guest speakers that came to IRS, they came absolutely global. Uh, but the experience that she gave us, that when we approached her before the event, how was it? And during the event, everything was so smooth with her. And even after the talk, after the talk got over, we had an exchange of emails, and that's how we completed the whole cycle. So we highlighted the fact that referability doesn't start when you are on the stage, when you are speaking, but it starts before, and also it continues after the talk is over. The second is word of mouth grows from consistent relationships. So the more you keep on building relationships, the more you become a referable speaker. The more people start knowing you, they want to be connected with you, and that becomes a very important and strong point for anybody to spread the word for you. And the third and very important that we all realized is have a multiple revenue streams for your sustainability. Now, professional speaking business, it's a very different approach. We look at as one way of going onto the stage and speaking and getting paid for it. However, she helped us realize that there could be different revenue systems, streams as well. And all this, when we looked at how we can map these highlights to our competencies, we looked at professional relationships, sales and marketing, and managing the business. Again, keeping in mind the 8 competencies that we need as a professional speaker, she was all out, standing tall among all the 8 competencies. Yes, Alma. Let's look at the third one.
Absolutely. The third one was a very, very special guest that we invited, Rajesh Shetty. He has been going through a lot of neurological surgeries and operations, and amongst that, he was willing to do a session with all of us. I mean, kudos to his spirit and his energy. And if you're listening it at any point of time, all I would say is send him your blessings, send him good energies, because he recently also went again with one more surgery. So God bless him and keep him in energy. Talking about which, let's talk about the highlights. Highlights which Rajesh got were absolutely, uh, I mean, I had goosebumps because we might have written stay audience centric and not speaker centric, but he explained it in the most beautiful way. He said, if you are a professional speaker and if you're speaking for 45 minutes on stage, and if there are 100 audiences, it's not the 45 minutes that you're speaking with, or it's not the 45 minutes you're speaking for. It's the 4,500 minutes that are invested with everyone in that room. Now, when you get that maths correct, it's absolutely shocking. And also, it opens the doors to be more mindful that what you speak has a lot of impact. And when you speak, when you connect with audiences, it absolutely adds a lot of value. Talking about which, the second thing that he talked about was proactively give meaningful gifts at low incremental cost. What he meant is to keep adding value to the organizers, to the events, and to the audiences as a part of gifts. And when he talked about meaningful gift, he said the meaningful gift should not be meaningful to you, it should be meaningful to the receiver. Bharti, we have a message from Sai Ramachandran saying he can't hear a thing. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Lovely. So, Sai, we will check it. Maybe it's some kind of a technical error. I would request other people who are listening to us, if you can't hear us, please put up in the chat so that we know if it's from our side or. Okay, lovely. Thanks, Yabi. Lovely. Now, moving on to the third point, he said create systems or products with a long term perspective, which means managing the business in such a way that you create a product today which will be available for next 10 years. So don't create a product that is meant for today or short term, but think long term. Amazing speaker, amazing insights, and our prayers are with you. We give you a lot of positive energy from here in India, and we love you, Rajesh. Moving on to the next one, over to you, Bharti.
Yeah, we had a very different kind of energy drawn when we had Rajesh at IRS. And let me tell you, all of you, every guest speaker was different, with different vibe, different energy. Couple of them were full of energy. Couple of them were absolutely calm and composed and completely in their own zone. And we were loving it because we had very different kind of speakers coming in. Uh, and the fourth one that we had, and that Andy Lupata, who graced the April month, again, he came with his vibe that really cheered all of us at PSI community. All the guests, they came at least 10-15 minutes before the event, and oh my god, the informal conversation that they had with everybody whomsoever was joining in the event was amazing. And that is where Andy highlighted that you build that long term relationship over that short term wins. Don't look at it, okay, I have this paid event and this is where I'm going to focus and I'm going to make it absolutely great talk where everybody is motivated and charged up and pumped up. He started focusing on the long term relationship way back. And the most important part in what he shared at IRS was that he's not only living up to this, but he has also went ahead and building up an app for the organizations where organizations can use that application within that organization and see how their relationship is happening within the teams, within the departments. And that was amazing for all of us to learn that as somebody who's a professional speaker talks about professional relationships, long-term relationship can go one step far in creating an application for this for the organization because he identified that gap. And that is where I say that he is referable in that way. The another aspect that he focused was on consistency. That not only will build your Uh, of course, there's a visibility factor when you are consistent. But more important is it is building credibility for you, and slowly and gradually, you are shaping your relationship into a trustworthy relationship. And that's where we realize that this is a very long, it's a long haul, it's a long term game. It is not a short lived where you have a product, you sell it, you get a revenue, and that's about it. It is a very long term thing that we all must understand if we are in a business of professional speaking. And the third and the most important part was having your personal values. They make you referable. Now, again, why Andy highlighted about the personal values is because the person you are on stage and the person you are off stage, when you are actually talking and having conversations with people, you are sharing your values. It starts getting reflected in your talk, in your examples, in your case studies, and even when you're having conversations with people. And that is where the real connection lies. That is where people start connecting and relating it with you. And that makes it more referable. Because your personal values are seen, they are felt, even in your talks and with the conversation. And I think these three were the fantastic uh, highlights for both of us. And of course, it was for the entire community that we started serving. Yes, Sahil.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bharti. Moving next, we had our own Praveen Shekhar, and I cannot talk slowly when it's about Praveen Shekhar because he brings energy to the room. He is like the Ranveer Singh of speakers, right? I mean, even that comparison would be low because he brings 10 times more energy when he's on the stage. Uh, Before we move with Praveen Shekhar, one amazing thing, or rather, two amazing things, we connected with over 576 people throughout the journey of IRS in various events altogether, which means we consistently, on an average, had 45 plus people attending each event every Thursday that we were doing once a month. Second, if you're staying it with if you're staying with us till the end of the show, we are going to give you a gift which will help you to hone your skills, assess your current status as a professional speaker, and create a proactive and a productive plan for 2026. So stay tuned with us till the end of the event, and we are going to give you a PDF which will change the way you look at the business of speaking. Okay, coming to which, talking about Praveen Shekhar, he said one thing very clear. When he said develop a unique rhythm and a signature style, he meant be shameless, be an outlier, right? I think I still remember he talked about some humming sound like pop, 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 and Suresh on the other side was also humming with him, and it became a signature style. Now his mustache is a signature style. The yellow thing which he was wearing was his signature style, and people remember him for that. And he's gone ahead. Now he wears a waistie with the print of his logo right from top to bottom of the waistie. I mean, what else can you do for branding? So that guy is awesome. He talked about that it's not about just the content. Remember to make it sticky, memorable, and referable worthy, which means he didn't only talk about that have key takeaways. He said have takeaways in a way where people can share it as a story or make it more sticky, right? Then he said, build relationships gradually through trust and learning. And these relationships, basically, he meant is with the organizers and the audience while being on stage and off the stage. Because while you're on the stage, yes, you have a persona, but people watch you while you're off the stage. So, building professional relationships is extremely important for being a referable speaker. Over to you, Bharti.
Absolutely. And you were very right when you raised your bar in the energy zone and you started talking about Praveen Shekhar. And this is exactly what we learned from these 11 speakers, that if you want to build your business in professional speaking, there has to be something as a giveaway, something that's stick. And that's why stick till the end. And we are going to share the gift that we have brought for all of you. And moving on to the star of our IRS, we finally had Andrew Davis with us. And oh my God, he was so generous and so humble in approaching. So, of course, it took time, unless I was chasing him for months to say yes for this. And finally, he said yes, and he came for the IRS event. And he was very excited. He was said, "Wow, I never realized that my book is an inspiration for this community." And I said, "Yes, it is. And why did you come and share about it?" So he opened all the doors for us, and he started sharing, talking about his experience of professional speaking, and also talking about how he started with lead generation, how he started his journey of professional speaking. And important part that he shared was one story where he expanded his market, and he said, if you are in the same region, in the same city or same area, probably people may take you for granted, and they may say, oh, we know this, she's like a next door person for me. So he said, rather that, I started expanding beyond my region to grow my market, and that was a game changer for his business, and that brought a lot of laurels. The second thing, we always focus on building the audience, nurturing the audience, and he said the best way that he could do is the newsletter. So this is for each one of you. If you're here with us and if you're watching this later as well, please go to his profile and please subscribe to his newsletter. They are amazing. They are really enriched with a lot of value, and of course you'll be part of a system, so you will be experiencing how the business happens in the profession speaking. And this was something like a big shocker for us, because as a profession speaker, we always focus on the products and programs and everything that we are curating and building the system. Book becomes a very important part of our business. And he mentioned that you write the book only when there is a market demand. You do not put the book out unless and until people ask for it, unless and until people demand for that book. And that was a big shocker for us, because there's always the other way around, that you have the book first and then you start building up. Here is a person who has written the book, The Referable Speaker, and also is a big name in the profession speaking business, and he's saying you write only when there's a demand. And this was a big learning for us, whereas he absolutely covered the competencies that we are living up to it, and we are really aspiring to be that kind of an expert where we all are referable in the speaking business. Over to you, Sagar, for the next one.
Awesome. Thank you, Bharti. I can't thank Kathy more because, like Brenda was my mentor, Kathy has been mentoring me for creating the keynote, creating the script, creating the waves, the story. So, Kathy has been my mentor for almost over a year now, and she's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what she brings on table with her more than, I think, more than 30 years of experience is focus on reducing suffering and not self promotion. So when you're on stage, give it for the audience. Ensure that you're adding value to reduce their sufferings and not promoting yourself. Second, she said that as a speaker, if you use client stories and real case studies, it will create credibility rather than using fictional stories. Third, she talked about serve and connect deeply with people. Have meaningful conversations off stage, connect deeply with the organizers, make it easy for them to work with you. And the easier you are to work with them, the more referable you become. So, professional relationship in all seven speakers had a very, very wide range, but the common theme that stood out was trust, respect, gratitude, empathy, compassion, right? And that's something which me and Bharti were taking away after every event. We used to go back, watch the video, take away the learnings, try to absorb the unsaid words, try to absorb the unsaid emotions. And it was absolutely mind blowing how these speakers add value, how every single word that they spoke during that interaction was weighted and had a lot of learning captured within them. Over to you for the next one, Bharti. Thank you.
Lovely. I mean, Kathy really brought a very different kind of energy vibe to Iris, where she is 70 plus and still in the game of professional speaking. And we were like, wow, here is where we have one more star in our IRS event. Moving to Maria Franzoni, again, another a professional speaker. I would say her entire career has been a booker where she focused on bookability and she had like 20-25 years where she has approached so many speakers and she was the main person for booking them for the events. So we wanted a different element to IRS where we wanted to see how from the other side of the table, uh, if a person who wants to book or hire a professional speaker, what is it that it takes for a booker to sign up with the professional speaker? And that was the major aspect where we asked Maria to brace our IRS event. And as well, she has written the book, which was recently published, The Bookability Formula. Excellent book and full of case studies. All the highlights that she has mentioned in the book and as well as when she came to the event. She spoke about being known for one clear thing in the paying market because you may have multiple topics subtopics and you may be aware about it, but if you are known for just uh, one thing or one topic, that is where the entire game changes for you because it becomes easy for people to refer you. The second she highlighted was please be easy to find. Please be easy to listen, and please be easy to work with. And this was where the people would put off the event organizers or people who are coordinating with the professional speakers. It is a kind of task when you are dealing with speakers and you have to coordinate the entire event with so many other responsibilities. But if as a speaker you are easy and you're coordinating well, you're communicating well, and you are easy to work with, your chances of referability increases. And the third part that I missed in between was be relevant, be relatable, and be consistent. Uh, Although she highlighted all the aspect that yes, be known for a one thing or one subject, one topic, is that topic relevant to your audience? Is it related? Can they really relate with you, with the topic, and with themselves? If everything is in same, then the referability quotient increases. If it is not, then there will always be a mismatch, and people will find a difficulty in even remembering what are you known for, why should I refer you, what should I refer you for. It becomes very difficult. So if you are focused on one thing, then it becomes easy. And I couldn't thank enough Maria to bring in that kind of element in IRS and giving us that insights. And of course, we have more speakers. We want to show their highlights. Yes, Sagar, the next one.
Awesome. This legend was at a different level. I mean, Crystal Washington just opened up Pandora's box for all of us, and she was like, this is my system, this is what I do. And she absolutely went all out to give us insights from her business, from her strategies, from the angle of getting booked, even her pricing strategy. I mean, that is something that will only happen when there's a lot of trust. And that is the power of speakers community. Professional Speakers Association of India is a group of people, a group of professional speakers which actually grow together and thrive together. And Crystal here was a living example of it. So what she started was with how good your system should be, because your system of booking or your system as a speaker does not start when you're on stage. It starts way before, on how you start from the first point of contact, how the email goes, what kind of contract goes, how you communicate, how you give your introduction, how you make it easier for the organizers to book you again, 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 and again. And she said one important thing, that if you're being booked at the same price for 2 or 3 times without any negotiations, is your bar. So yes, you can raise your bar and you can increase the cost, because that's what the indicators are. And she also was in line with Andrew, that book is not something which is a mandatory thing to become a referable speaker. However, if there is a demand from the audience for your book, for your content, or for your product, go all out, publish the book, and do it. So these are two different ways where we were looking at things, that yes, book is an important part in certain areas of the world, but in certain parts of the world, it's not about bookability. It's more about trust, systems, and processes that you have, and how good they are for organizers to feel comfortable. She also highlighted that one of the events, she was just called at the 11th hour, because the organizers knew that she is one hell of a speaker, but she's also a speaker who is easy to connect with. And that's what referably means. So, yes, over to you, Bharti, for the next speaker.
That was really amazing. That was really amazing when Crystal opened her heart out and said that yes, all throughout the year she's booked, and she had so many events, so many platforms where she can speak. So she has her small team and she focused a lot on systems. That was one eye opening for me, that yes, it's not about doing everything solo, but you must have a small team. And moving to the next, where we had Darren coming here, a very multifaceted, I would say, the guest speaker that graced our IRS event, where he has been the world champion of public speaking, he has been the highest honor of Toastmasters, and he's been a professional speaker. He's an author, he has a system, the website, the newsletter, the programs, the courses, the online events, and as well as the keynote speeches that he gives. So he was like a complete power packed speaker for us. And he focused again on important aspect was where you position yourself as a go-to expert. So his entire highlight was on the content. Uh, Everything and anything that you're creating as a content, whether it's a blog, whether it's a post, whether it's video, whether it's writing newsletter, or whether it's a small piece you're putting it on website, or any comment even that you're doing on a post, is that content puts you into a position where you are the expert of that particular subject. So are you that go-to expert? That is where he completely focused on, because his sales and marketing starts from there, that if you're a go-to expert, it naturally becomes one name for referability. The second was conduct discovery calls. Now that was something that really amazed me, because even though we live in our own perception and we have our own experiences with clients, it is important for us to also keep digging and keep uh, calling and doing the discovery calls with the prospects to understand where the problem lies. Has the problem shifted from A to B? Or is it still the problem the same? Or has it been deepened or not? So he does a lot of discovery calls to understand what are the problems that his clients or his prospects are actually facing. And the third and important part was build a follow-up system. Again, there are many a times it happens that we miss out on the balls, and people do inquire, people do talk about it, they have their share of conversation with us, and we just miss out on something. Whereas he had built a system where he has a strong follow-ups, and the whole aspect of building a system is, are you staying on top of your clients, stop on top of your audience or not? And that is where I said that's the best way to manage the business. So Darren came with I would say, truckloaded of learning for us. And then we had our 11th speaker. Yes, Sagar.
Jonathan Lowe. I mean, wow. He was at a different level because he's been a president of an association, a longest serving president of an association. He was also part of a landmark thing like VSA, a virtual speakers association that opened up the doors for people who are not living in a country where they don't have their local associations. They could join in. So Jonathan was at a different level when it came to serving the community. And if you've noticed till now, we had a good balance of female versus male speakers. It was not that we were inclined only to one side, but me and Bharti were mindful of having that balance and creating that equality that in the world of professional speaking, no matter where you come from, no matter the gender, we all stand equal, we all stand together. So, Jonathan Liu, he added some amazing insights. Again, as I said, he was coming here with a service mindset. So, he said, serves the associations to gain visibility and credibility. But credibility and visibility were like the byproduct, but he really meant that serve with a good heart, serve with an intention to add value. Next, he talked about provide tools that audience can implement immediately. So, he was always logical in thinking that, you know what? Yes, we give key takeaways. Yes, we give tools and techniques. But what if they can implement in like 5 to 7 minutes within your talk or just after your talk? So give tools that can be implemented immediately. Third, he said, build effortless partnership. This was the most important thing because he said, you're not different when it comes to an ecosystem as an organizer, as a speaker, or an audience. You're a part of an ecosystem. You are building a partnership there. So create a partnership that's going to go a long way. Again, a part of professional relationships as a part of PSD series. This is where we come to the end of all 11 speakers. However, like we promised you, we have something as a gift. Santa Claus comes early, right? We are bringing early Christmas for all our associations, association friends, members, and colleagues. To unveil the gift, I would invite Bharti that why don't you share what that gift is all about?
Thank you so much, Sagar, and I'm really overwhelmed with so many highlights, and it is like coming as a complete flash of 11 events. Oh my God, what a journey we have been so far in IRS. Not realizing that we started from last December, starting with January, and now we are in the month of December. Uh, Accumulating all these learnings and the highlights and mapping them with the 8 competencies are a very obvious question that we both had was, okay, so what next? How are we going to apply this? And that is where we built up a fantastic document for all the members, for all the friends who are in the profession speaking. And this document is going to be your first document where you will start putting down that what is my 2026? How does it look like when it comes to the business of profession speaking? So it has been mapped into 8 competencies, and all these 8 competencies will have simple question. When you go through a question, it will give you some responses where you will look at there are 3 options to choose. Obviously, you'll choose one, and where are you in this journey today as a professional speaker, as the business of professional speaking that you are in? Where do you stand? Do you stand at a beginner level? Do you stand at a referable level? Do you stand at an expertise level? Where do you stand? And that is where it is more like a reflection for yourself. And you will note down this. Once you have done this, you have a space where you can write down that, okay, I am at a beginner level, and this is where I would like to go in my 2026. And that is where the professional speaking journey will unveil for you in 2026. So a very ready reckoner where you can apply immediately. Because when you enter 2026, you need clarity, you need complete focus at the same time. You need to know where do you want to go, where is my destination, and that is where this gift will come very handy to you. You just need to open up, look at everything. Maybe you can print it out and keep it in your file and go back and see where it is. So every quarter you can make a review and reflect on. At the end of the December 2026, you will say, okay, wow, I had this 8 things out of 8. I have completed many of them. And that is where me and Sagar will cheer. We will be standing here cheering up for you and looking at how beautiful your journey has been. So that is what the gift that we want to give. Now, how would you have this gift? It's very simple. You just need to comment growth, and we will send it to you right away. So once you have done this, you can check your inbox and you will have it. You can send us the email addresses. We can send you that. But you need to comment growth, and you have this gift with you. Yes, I will.
Absolutely. If you want to grow, you need to take action. And action is just one small word: growth. Send us growth in the comments, in a private message, or on WhatsApp, wherever you're comfortable, and we will send it to you in your inbox. Now, some of you might think, why all the fuss? Why not upload it and send it to everyone and let people decide? And that's where the change begins. You take the first step, and we will help you throughout the journey. But if you're not willing to take the first step and even type growth, God help you. So that's where we are saying that take a effort, take an initiative just to write one small word, growth, and you will have the best of the best speakers who have collated their brains, curated this 8 competency self-assessment checklist for you in your inbox. And what next? Take action, and we will see you in the next year when you would have completed. And like Bharti said, we would be applauding for you at the end of the corner, watching you shine all your stars and everything on the big stage. So thank you very much. This is from me. Over to you, Bharti.
Yes, we are really excited for 2026. And if you want to meet Sagar, if you want to meet me, and if you want to meet the entire community of PSAI, do not forget that we have the summit, the annual flagship event, PSS Professional Speaker Summit, coming up in the month of February. It is on 6th and 7th February. Fantastic venue this time. We are doing it at Fortune ITC at Mahabalipuram, and you can go to the website, you can click on the event, and you will see all the details. And that is where you can meet me, you can meet Sagar, and you can meet amazing speakers who are a part of this community. So if you're there, if you're thinking, if you're standing at the edge of your career, and you say, oh yes, should I go for the professional speaking career, should I do this or not, come and watch our at PSS and meet us and see how everything beautifully grows in the professional speaking journey. Apart from this, of course, me and Sagar are working on IRS 2.0, where we are curating some amazing events for the 2026 year. There's a good speakers lineup, and there are some we are very aspirational, me and Sagar. So we are really looking at some big names in professional speaking. We would really wish, and of course, we will put our heart and soul to bring them to PSCI community and help us grow more and more. So
Absolutely.
watch out for the announcement where we are like IRS 2.0, how it unfolds. What is it for you to look forward when it comes to IRS? And it may surprise you, it may shock you, it may put you in the awe. You may want to put your notepad and pen when the IRS event is happening. You may want to put all the calendars, everything empty when it comes to IRS. And that is what IRS 2.0 is going to be. Yes,
But
Sagar.
why? Why would people do that? The only reason is it's not recorded, it's live. The best part is you learn when you're invested live. Nobody goes back, watch the recordings. So if you're live with us, you enjoy, you learn, you grow. And here we have Vinay Pushpakaran, who is also the chair of PSS, sharing us the link of PSS 2026. If you haven't booked it, You still have time. Go check out the link. Don't buy the tickets before you've seen the speakers, because after you've seen the speakers, I will not have to tell you go buy the tickets. You will buy the tickets and send it to 10 friends who also would love to grow their journey, and bring 10 friends along with you. So just go on the link, check the speaker lineup, and guaranteed you will not wait for me to tell you book your tickets. You will book it and multiply it with everyone. So thank you so much. Together, signing off, me and Bharti saying kudos, bye bye. Happy New Year in advance, Happy Christmas. And remember, this year Santa Claus is just saying you to type growth.
Thank you so much, and it was really a pleasure. It was an honor, and a very, very good evening to all of you. Have a wonderful time with your family, friends, and look forward to 2026 when you will begin your journey of professional speaking. Because if you're at the edge of speaking journey, a public speaker, you know what it is, what the difference between a professional speaker. So please come, and we look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.